Good evening, everybody, and welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
We're just going to wait a moment to make sure everybody gets logged on, gets comfortable. Good to see so many faces. Nothing else to do on a Thursday night but watch a travel talk, so. All right, I think we've got everybody. So welcome everyone to our Expedia Cruises Thursday night travel talk. And tonight our special guest is Fatima De Silva from Norwegian Cruise Lines, featuring Alaska and Hawaii. Everyone on the call is muted. You do have control of your video if you'd like to have it on or off. I find nowadays it's so hard to not see people. So if you're in your pajamas, we don't really care. If you're having a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, we'd love to see your face. So if you feel comfortable turning your camera on, we'd love that. We do have a chat feature. Everyone is muted, but there's a chat feature. So if you do have any questions, please type them into the chat and we will handle them at the end of the video. My name is Lisa Anflick. I'm one of the consultants at Expedia Cruises. Our travel talks are being hosted by our 6 Expedia Cruises locations in the Edmonton area. Believe it or not, we are coming up to 21 months that the day the travel industry changed. And if you're on this call, you probably love to travel. Travel fulfills us. That's why we do it. If you're like me, you're missing it. Great news. Cruising has begun. Cruise ships started to sail this past June, and now we've had many, many months of ocean cruising in Alaska, Caribbean, Europe. We've had river cruising starting in Europe as well. Cruises are operating safely with the highest health protocols, and cruising is by far the safest way to travel. Most cruise lines now have the majority of their fleets sailing. In our offices, we've had passengers recently cruised, came back with raving reviews. They were thrilled to get back on board. The experience that only a cruise can provide was something that they loved. I will admit that travel is a little bit more complex now. Now more than ever, the professional advice of a travel consultant is needed. Our consultants are here to help you navigate the new complexities of travel and make sure your vacation is safe and seamless. I'm always amazed when people say they book their own vacations. And I think that there are things I could do on my own. I could do my own taxes. I could change the oil in my car, but I like to leave things with the experts. What you will receive when you book with a travel agent is the following. We have the expertise. There are hundreds of different cruise ships, and only a travel agent can help you find the right one for you. In terms of pricing, you will never pay less directly with the cruise line. More often than not, you'll have a better price when you're booking with an agent. At Expedia, we block group space on hundreds of sailings and can provide amenities such as shipboard credits that booking directly with the cruise line will not give you. We have all the up-to-date information about passports, visa requirements, COVID protocols, and we are here to assist you in emergencies if problems happen. The ability also to help you plan your entire vacation, so we can help you with your cruise, your land, your transfers, your shore excursions, etc. If you are ready to travel, we are here to help. And if at this point you don't feel quite ready to travel, that is fine too. But I will tell you, it is the right time to plan. Studies have shown that approximately 40% of the pleasure of a trip comes from planning one. And if you're in Edmonton and we're driving today or stayed home, you're very aware that winter has begun, and it is a long winter for us. So I think all of us love to be able to get away. Whatever your dreams are at Expedia, we can help you make those dreams come true. The last year has changed, and sometimes what gets me through the day is thinking about where I want to go next. You might have heard the term that the bucket list has become a to-do list. I can't wait to start traveling again. Time has passed, and like you, I have much to make up for. We are committed to finding you the best value for your travel dollars, and we are more than just cruises. As mentioned, we are Expedia, air, land, and sea vacations, so we can help you from start to finish on your vacation. So what I'd like you to do right now is sit back and relax. Let's start exploring the world and dreaming of your next vacation. I'd like to now introduce our special guest, Fatima from Norwegian Cruise Lines. Welcome, Fatima. So good to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here with all of you guys and spend the next 45 minutes. getting you all excited, because I know that I'm off on a ship next week. And I am like overly excited that I'm counting the sleeps. And I don't remember the last time I got so excited about traveling and I'm counting sleeps. So I'm excited to be here with you guys, and thank you for inviting me. So I'm going to just share my screen and then we're going to get started. I'm going a little too fast. Can everyone see my screen? Thumbs up. Perfect. So welcome. We are really excited to be back in the water. And I'm going to start off with what Norwegian is known for as freestyle experience, freestyle cruising. So that is one thing that makes Norwegian Cruise Line different from everyone. One thing that I love about working for Norwegian, I worked in the all-inclusive industry for 16 years, and you know, everybody needs a change, and Norwegian just fit my lifestyle, where I was in where I am with my life and with my family and stuff. So one thing we really enjoy about traveling on Norwegian is you cruise your way. You decide what you want to do when you want to do. So your choices, the service, the experience on our ships are outstanding. The one thing I love is the dining. We have no fixed dining times. You get dressed up or go casual. If you want to dress up formally for one night to do family pictures, or you want to have a nice fancy dinner at one of our specialty restaurants, then you're able to do that. So there's lots of different types of options. Also, numerous types of free restaurants, free dining, specialty options, and then of course, lots of options for bars, for drinks. If you're into wine, we have wine cellars. If you're into beer, we have the District, which is our brewery house. So lots of different options for you. So that's the exciting thing about traveling on Norwegian. I'm going to get off with it because I know it's on everybody's top of mind, is health and safety. So what are we doing on board? Safety, of course, is first for us. So we, all of our crew are fully vaccinated. So are all the guests that are on our ships. We have COVID-19 testing on the ships. We have also added more medical services on board. We actually have an officer that deals with just COVID cases. So let's say you're sort of feeling a bit sick, and they will actually come to your stateroom, do your COVID testing, and within 15 minutes, you'll know if you are positive or negative. Safety aboard our ships, like we had said, anyone that has traveled on Norwegian in the past, you know that we have always had the washy gentlemen always singing along, singing around the ship, spraying everybody's hands. So we've of course have increased sanitation around the ship. We've added more sanitizing areas on the ship, and we've also added medical grade air filtration, the HEPA filters on all of the ships. Even our vacuums, actually, we've changed the filters to HEPA. And then of course, safety on shore. Every destination that we stop at, every port, it's a safety the same as what you experience on the ship. So ultimate freedom. So the benefits of being 100% vaccinated on ships is a cruise mask free. So only our staff wear masks on the ship. There's no social distancing required. We are reduced capacity right now, which is fantastic, especially for our bigger ships. All restaurants and experiences are fully open. So all of our nightly entertainment, comedy shows, nightclub, the pools, the racetracks, laser tags, everything is running as pre-COVID. And then of course, the main one is surrounding yourself in safety. Another one great thing is all of the testing is included. So as you all know, for Canada, you need to have a PCR test to come back home. So on our ships, you will actually receive a letter a day before you disembark the ship. You'll get a letter saying, come to, I'm just giving an example, the Cavern Club between 12 and 2 to get tested for your PCR test. Within that evening, or even sometimes 3-4 hours after you've done your COVID test, you'll have your results in your stateroom ready for you to show at the airport for your flight back home. So it's just stressless, so you don't have to actually stop, get off the ship, and go look for a place to get tested. It's all taken care of for you on the ship. So I'm going to get right into it because this is what we're all here for, is to learn about Alaska and Hawaii. So I'm actually going to start off with Alaska. So this is actually the Bliss racetrack. So I have gotten the opportunity to actually do the racetrack sailing in Alaska, and it's an amazing experience. It's just, you know, you're racing in your car, racing in the car on the racetrack, and with all the views around you. It's yeah, it's breathtaking. So why Alaska with Norwegian? Our ships are actually custom built to let the outside in. So if anyone that hasn't traveled on the Bliss or the Joy or the Encore, which is one of our newer ships, we've actually built an observation lounge that wraps around deck 15 on 180 degrees of just glass. So anywhere that you walk, you have the views all around you. So of course, you immerse in the experience. We have the youngest fleet cruising Alaska. So that is great. And then of course, unique itineraries, which we'll go through a couple of them with you. Also, like I had mentioned, we have the waterfront on our ship. So again, when you're going through the glaciers, everybody surrounds themselves around the waterfront, which is around deck 8, which is, you know, great for views. You get to see the wildlife. So we also have from April through till October, we have 5 ships, 4 departures, and we range actually from 5 to 16 days. So if you're looking for something less, like you just can't take 7 days off work, but you just want a quick trip over to Alaska, we do offer the 5 nights. Mostly all of our itineraries, we do the Glacier Bay, and we also have a park ranger guide that actually sometimes comes on the ship, and he'll actually give you a whole guide while we're sailing through the glaciers. And then of course, 2 of our newest ships, which is the Encore and the Bliss, which do Alaska in the summer. And then of course, Icy Strait Point. So that we actually have just we actually built a pier and got to finally see it this summer. So that was an exciting milestone for Norwegian. So as you can see here, we actually have embarkation ports. We have out of Seattle, Vancouver, and then all the way up in Alaska, we have Seward. So that gives you a lot of different options for Alaska. So this is one of the popular itineraries, which is the 7-day round trip from Seattle. This one is on the Norwegian Bliss. So she does 7 days, Saturday to Saturday. She starts off in Seattle. Nice thing about this itinerary is that you actually only get 1 sea day. As you can see here, you actually have a full pack 5 ports in 7 days. So you get to go to Sitka, Juneau, Dowers, Icy Strait, Ketchikan, a quick stop in Victoria, and then back to Seattle. So, and we actually have this itinerary for April of 2022, and we already have April to October of 2023 in our system already ready to book. And then we have the Encore. She's our newest ship. So she again will also be back. So she did Alaska this season, and she'll be coming back for next year and 2023. She'll be doing the 7-day round trip also out of Seattle, but including Glacier Bay. So I always tell everybody, make sure that you, because especially with these 2 ships, they're very similar, except one's 2 years younger than the other, but they're pretty similar in activities. So the racetrack, the laser tag, all the restaurants, waterfront, they both have the single staterooms. So if you're a single traveler, The only thing is the itinerary. So just make sure that you're checking the itinerary, because this one here stops in Glacier Bay. So that's the difference. And you're only getting 4 ports in 7 days compared to the 5 ports with the Bliss. And then this one is really new for us. It's the Norwegian Spirit. So the Norwegian Spirit, if anyone is famous on, loves to travel on Norwegian, you probably have traveled on the Spirit. So a little background on the Spirit. She actually went through complete dry dock right before, so last February, I've lost count, so 22 months ago, she went through millions and millions of dollars of dry dock. She actually is our boutique style ship now. So we're actually bringing her over to do Alaska. And she actually has an itinerary that does Honolulu to Seattle, Vancouver, and then seaward. So she actually is one of the ships that if you like to do the Hawaii over to Vancouver, she has an itinerary for you. So she'll actually have different types of itineraries. She's going to have the 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, and a 16-day itinerary. And actually, it'll be her first time doing the coast here, because she's always been either doing Europe in the winter, or she's been doing Australia. So I'm in Vancouver, so I'm really excited to actually have her join the Jewel next year. And like I had mentioned, she has been completely redone. We have actually removed all of the kids programs off her. So where the kids pool area was, we've added adults only section with a large pool area at the aft of the ship with lots of chairs. We've actually added suites onto her, which she didn't, she had some, but not at the class of where the Bliss and the Encore is. So, we're really excited to have her come join the Jewel. So the Jewel, she's been doing Vancouver for many years. So she does the northbound, southbound. I always say that this itinerary is great for any guest that, you know, I've been to Alaska like six times, or maybe now 7 times. I love Alaska. But for some guests, I know I have some friends and family, they're like, oh, if I go to Alaska, I'm only going to do it once, and I'm going to do it all at once. So this here is a great itinerary, because as you can see, it's very port intense. So you start off in Vancouver, you do the Inside Passage, which is great. You do Ketchikan, Juneau, you go to Skagway, Glacier Bay, you go to Hubbard Glacier, and then you stop in Seaward. And then if you want to do a back-to-back, we do have guests that like to do the 14 days, then they would just do a back-to-back and start off, stay on the ship, sorry, and then you would sail back down to Vancouver. So that is an option. Or the other option is doing a cruise tour when you get to Seaward, spend a couple of days, and then fly home. Another ship that's going to be new for Alaska is going to be the Sun. So the Sun actually did Vancouver a couple of years ago, actually before the Jewel. So she's now coming back, and she will be doing Seattle. So again, another nice detailed, if you want a port intense Alaska cruise, this is going to be another great option. And again, with the Spirit, the Jewel, and the Sun, for guests that don't like our big ships, like the Bliss and the Encore, you have the option to sail more of our smaller ships. So what I mean about the smaller ships, you're looking at about 2,000 guests compared to 4,000 guests on the Bliss and on the Encore. So as I had mentioned, lots of options for you for Alaska. So here, she'll also be offering a 16-day journey. So calling into Alaska, Japan, and Russia. So if you have 16 days, and as Lisa had mentioned, there's lots of bucket lists, and Japan and Russia is probably on everybody's bucket list, because I know it's on mine. So check out her itinerary. It's a great one. So Alaska shore excursions, lots to do in Alaska. So I picked out a couple. We have Skagway. Here we have the Adventure Park and Zipline, which is very popular for families. Of course, if you want to try and become rich, I always do these gold mines thinking that I'm going to find real gold. Until today, I still haven't found any. So, and then of course, the popular popular one that always sells out is the White Pass Railway Yukon Experience. So I just actually put here a fun fact. Skagway's original name was Kuga, which is home of the North Wind. So that was a little fun thing I found about Skagway today when I was doing the presentation, putting it together. And then we have Juneau. So Juneau has lots of different options. It's probably one of my favorite ports in Alaska. And mind you, every time I go there, I need to buy a rain jacket. So the rain must follow me. So whale watching, wildlife quest. We have the glaciers, of course. You have the sled dogs discovery, which is a very popular one for us. So again, I put another fun fact here, you know, get the taste of local flair downtown. There's nice little shops, restaurants, little coffee shops. And I have to say, it's probably where I've had the best king crab in Alaska. So if you do go to Juneau, make sure you go and eat some crab if you enjoy crab. And then of course, Kitchikan. You know, one thing here, and I actually put this because every time we go there, I think I've had one, maybe 2 days of sunshine that they actually don't use umbrellas. They actually call it the liquid, they call the rain liquid sunshine. So three of our popular excursions, of course, it's the Misty Fords, the bear watching, and then of course the Creek Street. And then of course, lots of shopping. Like you can just walk around downtown Kitchikan and do shopping. I actually, if you like Oreo cookies, they have like the best chocolate dipped Oreo cookies in Kitchikan. So if you like your sweets like I do, make sure you go and have a couple of those because they are amazing. And then we have Icy Strait, which we have, of course, the largest zip rider in Icy Strait. The helicopter also, which is another really popular for us, especially if you want to go over the glaciers. And then the Icy Strait Point stream fishing. So if you're a fisher, this one is a great excursion for you to enjoy. And then of course, Victoria. You know, Victoria is famous for, you know, the gardens, of course, the wildlife, shopping, going for fish and chips. So, and then of course, walking downtown to go and see the Parliament building. And then of course, all the castles in Victoria. So that is lots to do in that area. So one thing also that we do offer is Alaska cruise tours. So make sure you reach out to the Expedia consultants because they do have access to the new Alaska cruise tour for 2022. So this is if you want to add an extra trip onto your cruise. So we do offer different options. As you can see here, we offer the Bliss Encore and Denali Explorer, which are two of our popular ones. So the Norwegian Bliss does the 12-day land and cruise. So you get 2 nights in Fairbanks and then 1 night in Denali. And then on the Encore, you have the option of the 13-day land and cruise. And that was, of course, the 2 nights to Fairbanks and then 1 night in Denali. And then here's 2 other options for you. But of course, there's a lot more different options in the brochure. So this one here is a 12-day also land and cruise. So you get the 1 night in Anchorage, 2 nights in Denali, and then of course 1 night at Hotel Aliska. And then the next one is by Rail Explorer. So again, you get the 12 days, 2 nights Fairbanks, Denali, and then 1 night in Anchorage. All of our tours are all fully escorted by an Alaskan guide. We actually have a representative up there. Her name is Karen, and she's fantastic. She knows everybody. She will treat you like you're part of the family, and she knows everything, anything about Alaska. So the 12 days and 13 days also include the sled dog musher. So make sure you look at different options. So now, so the Bliss, I'm just going to recap a little bit about the ships. So the Bliss and the Encore, like I had mentioned, they are our newer ships. So these ships they're great for families. I always say there's so much to do. They have the water front, the observation lounge. We have the solo stateroom. So for any solo travelers, we have the family staterooms that can accommodate up to 6 guests in a stateroom that has 2 rooms. And then of course, the dining. There's so many dining options that you actually, if you were to get the beverage package with all the free dining, you probably wouldn't have time to eat at all the restaurants, only if you're like me, you like to eat. So I tend to experience all the restaurants. And then like I had mentioned, we have a wine cellar, we have the District, which is our brewery, which has 16 different beers on tap. So the Encore is pretty much similar to the Bliss, as just she's newer. So she is the last ship of the breakaway class ship. So again, she has the larger racetrack. And then if let's say the kids are doing the racetrack and you're just watching, you can actually do laser tag while the kids are racing the racetrack. You can actually do laser tag. And then it has the Galaxy Pavilion. And like I have mentioned, we have the observation lounge, which wraps around deck 15. It's probably one of the best rooms we have on all of the ships. Lots of lounge chairs. You get to sit around and just sit and watch the scenery, especially for Alaska, because that is the sceneries from the time you get on the ship till the day you get off the ship. The scenery is just breathtaking. And then the Jewel. So the Jewel is more of our smaller ship. So she's about 2,000 guests, and she actually has been completely redone and gone through complete dry dock. So I'm excited to see her when she's in Vancouver next year. And then of course the Sun also has been completely gone through dry dock. She's again your smaller ship. So lots of different types of restaurants. She also has the casino. She has 11 bars on her, 7 specialty restaurants. If you like the spa, she also has the Mandura Spa on her and lots of lounges. So if you're looking for a smaller ship, she is a great option. So now we're going to move across. Now we're going to go to Hawaii, where it's nice and warm. So something for everybody. So why Hawaii with Norwegian? Well, couple of things. We are the only ones that have a ship that stays in Hawaii. So she does round trip Honolulu to Honolulu all year round. So that is why Hawaii with Norwegian. That is why I would pick us. So we actually have added a new Hawaiian French Polynesian cruises, local crew on our ships. And we have actually been voted best Hawaii itinerary for the last 15 years. So that is, we're really proud of that. So you'll see actually on the next slide, we actually do 4 islands in 7 days with 2 overnights. Absolutely 0 sea days. So I always say this itinerary is fantastic if you, first of all, have never been to Hawaii and you want to know which is going to be your favorite island, because here you get a taste of all the islands. The other thing I love about this itinerary is you only unpack once and pack once. You're not having to deal with getting to the airport, inter-island flights, packing and unpacking because you need to hop from Honolulu to Maui. So this is a great option for you. The other nice thing about our Hawaii cruise is you can actually add a cruise package, a cruise tour package too. So if you actually want to spend 3 extra nights in Honolulu before your cruise, you're able to package that through us. So you can actually do the 4 days and 3 nights at the Waikiki Beach Marriott Resort. And that, if you do the cruise tour, it includes a scenic tour, and you get to visit the Polynesian Cultural Center and also the Pearl Harbor. So lots of excursions that you can experience. So here you are, so you can do surfing. And then of course, here is the Memorial Pearl Harbor. So that would be if you do the cruise tour, or if you're flying into Honolulu a couple of days earlier. So, and then of course, Waikiki Beach. And then here you do the Maui whale watching tour, which operates from December through till April. So it migrates about 3,000 miles from the feeding grounds in Alaska each year. So, and then they move, of course, in December to the warm waters because they're the smart ones. So then that's when you get to experience the whales through December through till April. So here is Moliniki crater great for snorkeling. So here you actually do turtle snorkeling tours, which we offer all the guests. It is actually one of the top 10 snorkeling sites in the world. So lots of great snorkeling in this area here. So then you're off to Maui. So Maui, of course, we offer excursions, but a lot of our guests actually, they end up renting cars and Jeeps because you're overnighting in Maui. So you actually get to rent a car if you want to, or a convertible Jeep. And you get to explore the island on your own, because then you can overnight the car by the ship, and then in the morning get back on your rental, and you get to explore a little bit more of Maui on your own, if that's what you like. If not, of course, we do offer lots of different excursions in Maui for you. So here is Hilo. So as you guys know, Hilo is very famous for waterfalls and of course their rainforest. So then we also offer the Crater Hike and Alaka Falls shore excursion. So it's great if you're into hiking, and you get to actually see the Volcano National Park and actually go and see the lava tubes. So another great excursion. And also you do the rainforest zip line with this in this port here. And then day 4, you're in Hilo, Hawaii. Here you actually, one of the popular excursions is the fire helicopter tour, which actually goes right above the volcano. So it's one of those excursions. I'm not very good with heights and that kind of stuff, but it's not for everybody. So here's the Volcano National Park. So this would be day 4. So this is a very popular excursion. It actually sells out for us. So it's one of those excursions that I would pre-book or actually book it right when you actually get on the ship. So here you actually get the opportunity to walk through the Thurston lava tube. So that's part of the excursion. And then we have Kona. Of course, anyone that's into golfing, it is the golfer's paradise. They actually have 7 golf courses to choose from. Kona is also very famous for coffee. So if you like coffee, perfect. A lot of my friends always bring bags and bags of coffee, so that if you're a coffee drinker. Also very scenic coastline. So lots to do in Kona. And the nice thing is that you get to overnight in Kona. So if you want to do, the coffee run or do some exploring on your own, you have that option. And then of course, if not, you have the different types of excursions, like the historic Kona Shore excursion, where you get to enjoy a lot of the historic painted churches. And then of course, Old Hawaii. And then here we are again, snorkeling with sea turtles. It's another one of our popular excursions. So you get the snorkeling tour that takes you right into the underwater 150 feet. And then of course, you get to see the sea turtles. Actually, sometimes you get to do the feeding and you'll get to see them napping in the ground. So neat little experience. And then in Kona, also you get the Soar Above the Big Island tour. So we actually have helicopter tours that will give you amazing view of the rainforest and the Hamuka coastline. So the other nice thing about our itinerary is that around the volcano, there's only two ways that you can actually see the volcano, is either flying over the volcano or actually sailing around it. So that's another benefit of taking a cruise around Hawaii instead of doing it on your own. So this here is the canyon, which is known for the Green Island. So you actually have the opportunity here of hiking if you like to do the hiking, and it is right in the heart of Kauai. So lots of natural attraction in this area here. And then, of course, you can't go to Hawaii without experiencing luau. So, of course, that will be an option for you in Kauai to enjoy a luau, and also do a plantation train tour, which is another great option and another great experience for you. And then, of course, day 6 and 7, we have the Best of Kauai Shore Excursion, which introduces you the Garden of Isles, where you can actually explore the most dramatic natural attraction, which is 3,000 foot deep canyon. So, and then you also get to do the Waialahi River, which includes the Fern Grotto. And then here would be the last stop, which is not complete, of course, with the Nepali, seeing the Nepali coast. So that would be the last stop. So then a little bit about the ship. So the Pride of America, she is actually right now in the process of getting dry dock before she starts sailing again on January the 22nd. So she does offer lots of ranges of dining. So this is just one of the main dining rooms. So she does have 8 free option dining. And then, of course, she also has 8 specialty dining. So you have about 16 restaurants to choose from. So on the specialty dining options, you have the steakhouse, the Italian, the Brazilian, French, and also teriyaki, tempiyaki, sorry, and sushi. I'm thinking of teriyaki. Lots of bars and lounges also. So she has the Mardi Gras Lounge. She has the Pink Champagne, the Napa Wine Bar, and then the Ocean Dive Bar. And then, of course, there's a lot more. There's 12 bars and lounges to choose from. The only thing that I'll let you know with the Pride of America, if you are a gambler, unfortunately, because of the Hawaii laws, we are not allowed to have a casino on the Pride of America. So that's the only different that you will actually notice from the Pride of America compared to all of our other ships, is that there is no casino on her. But you know what? You're so busy with such a port intense itinerary that you won't even notice that there's no casino on there. But we still have lots of activities. So we have the cabanas, we have the fitness center, the upper pool deck, which has the 2 pool areas. And then, of course, if you are, it's been a long day touring Maui and you need a massage, you actually have the Mandura spa on the ship. So we also have 1 kids pool and also a sports complex on the ship. And then, of course, as anyone that's sailed on Norwegian, we have one of the best entertainments across our entire fleet. So we have comedy shows, magic shows, singing performance, and then, of course, we have the Hollywood Theater, which has our main Broadway shows. And then, like I had mentioned, here is the pool area. So you have the adults pool area, you have the kids, and lots of sitting area. So you have, this is the upper deck of the ship, and then, of course, the lower deck. So you have hot tubs and lots of sitting areas around the ship. So we have a great Black Friday sale on right now. So we actually have 70% off the second guest. And one thing we haven't had before, we always have the take all 5, but right now during Black Friday, we actually have 7 free offers. So a value of $2,750 of savings. So you have your open bar, you have your specialty dining, because we have so many options for specialty dining. You don't want to miss out on those. The free shore excursion, So that you get the $50 per stateroom per port. So especially for Hawaii or Alaska, that some of those ports have 5 ports, you get $50 at each port. Free Wi-Fi. Of course, we have the extra guests. So if you have a 3rd or 4th guest in your stateroom. We also right now have the free airfare for 2nd guest, and then free $250. And because I am so grateful that you are all taking time out of your evenings to come and listen to me, I'm also offering, if you book with any of the Expedias in Edmonton, they will be offering you $100 US onboard credit. And that you need to book by December the 6th. And on top of that, if you refer a friend or a family to join you, I'm giving you another $100 Canadian gift card of your choice. I always say the best vacations are the ones that you make with friends and family. So anytime that I plan a cruise, I always tell my friends and family, because that's when you make the best memories. So another thing that I wanted to point out is, as you can see here for our free unlimited open bar, it's all high. It's not, you know, watered down vodka or watered down rum. It's all name brand, good quality beverage that is part of the free open bar. And then, like I had mentioned, the specialty dining. So this is just a little recap of what's included when you do the open bar, the free open bar. And mahalo, we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Fatima. That was absolutely,
thank you.
Absolutely fabulous. You, I just have to say, sailing past the Nepali coast was probably one of the most breathtaking experiencing I've ever had. So we're just going to take a couple questions now. Question about if I wanted to go to the Caribbean in February, is there still space?
There is, but I'm going to be honest with you, not just because I'm a salesperson. It's limited, and I'll tell you why it's limited. It's because, first of all, we're reduced capacity, and everybody's booking. People, I don't know about like everybody, but I want out of here, and space is selling. So yeah, if you're looking, now's the time, especially with our Black Friday sale. It's amazing.
Right. And I think we have to, you know, we don't want to sound pushy, but we have to let people know that truly, and what you have to remember too, not only does everybody want to get out of here, especially after a day like today, but we also have had 2 years where things have been paused. So many people canceled their 2020, moved it to 2021. And then because of things were happening, obviously, people have moved from 2021 to 2022. So all of a sudden you've got 2 years worth of vacations in 1 year. So demand is definitely high. Question about, first of all, do you take children on the ships, and do children have to be vaccinated?
So right now with Norwegian, everybody needs to be 100% vaccinated. So, and that's including children. So unfortunately, if the children are not vaccinated, I know in Canada, we just got approved. So that's exciting, especially for the 5 till 11. But as of right now, that's where we stand.
Okay. And I think we all have to realize, you know, as you said earlier, one of the things that makes me feel really safe about a cruise is that I know everyone is vaccinated, all the passengers, all the staff. I don't think we, you know, I would feel safer on a cruise than I do in my local Costco. So at this point, so once, and then we have in Canada, so once children have been vaccinated, once they are 2 weeks past their 2nd dose date, then they can get on a ship as well.
Exactly. We're actually in the process right now of bringing back, because of the kids programs, of course, have been all closed since we started sailing back in August. So we're actually starting to bring in our staff for all the kids club. So that's because we're starting to get kids, especially for Christmas break and spring break. We're starting to see a lot of families booking because that kids can get vaccinated.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
A question that's on everybody's mind, you have flexible booking options. So, if people aren't feeling 100% sure, but they're saying, I want to book something, I don't want to miss out. Can I still book? And is there a flexibility if I need to change my mind and cancel?
So one nice thing with Norwegian is, our deposit is fully refundable up to, well, right now we have the 60 days up till end of April, and then we have the 120 days. So two things, our deposit is refundable. So let's say, I'm looking at taking a cruise, next summer, but I'm still not sure, but I don't want to miss out on the sale. I don't want to miss out on a specific stateroom. You can actually make a booking, put the deposit down, and then you know what? Maybe January, February, right before your final payment, you're just not comfortable still. Then you know what? You just cancel and you get your deposit back. And then of course, Lisa, like you had mentioned, we do right now have a program that if you actually make a booking, and let's say, we've seen all these, governments, well, you can't sail here now because, or you can't get off the ship, or you need to be fully, there's so many requirements that you actually, if you don't feel comfortable, then you can just call one of the consultants and they can call us and just cancel and you get your money back. So different options, right? So you're not losing your money if you, how do I say this? You're excited about booking because we're seeing a lot of that right now, but you're still a little bit nervous. I wouldn't hold off on making your booking because you're going to get your money back if you cancel. That's what I'm trying to say.
Excellent, excellent. Well, and you can see my screensaver here. The time is now. The time really is now to book. On that note, so if somebody wants to book further out, do you have sailings available for 2023 and 2024?
We do actually. So we have, let's say Hawaii, Pride of America, her sailings are all in the system for 2024. I hope that we'll one day have another night to talk about our new ship, the Prima, that's coming out in August. So her itineraries are all out until the beginning of 2024. So yeah, if you're not comfortable of traveling in 2022, there's lots of options for 23 and 24. So
excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
And as you said, deposits are refundable, so no risk. And
No.
what we're seeing in the industry, things are booking up, pricing is continuing to go up. So you are better off booking early than missing out. There's a question about, and you mentioned it, single travelers. So you have single rooms. Can you elaborate a little bit more? What does that mean?
So we have single studios on about 10 of our ships. So it's the studios. So they are inside staterooms. They're 100 square feet. They're fantastic. The nice thing about the studio suites for the single travelers is that you actually have access to a studio lounge. So it's not the bachelor or the bachelorette, but you actually have a lounge where you can actually go and meet new friends, hang out. We actually have staff that do meet and greet every single day. I actually have a consultant actually out here. She actually sent her aunt, and I think I say this story all the time. She actually ended up meeting a couple of other ladies, the same age range from around the US, and now they travel all the time together. So, and the nice thing about the studio lounge is that you only have access to that lounge. So whoever is staying in those solo studios are the only ones that have access to that studio lounge. So it's your own little area on the ship.
And just one more thing in terms of that, in terms of pricing, there's no supplement.
Single supplement.
There's no single supplement, which a lot of times is an issue if you have to pay, twice double for a room. So the studios are based on one person pricing for one person.
That's exactly it. And actually on some of the other ships and that we actually don't have solo studios, I can't say that word today. We do sometimes have pricing for solo travelers in different categories. So example, like on the Sun and the Jewel, those don't have the single studios, but sometimes we do have special pricing for solo travelers on different categories of staterooms.
Okay, so lots of options for singles, not having to pay extra. That's wonderful.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Let's go to the other side. So we've got the single travelers. Let's go to the high end. Let's talk a little bit about the Haven.
So we have the Haven, which is, I always say, our ships, you have two ships in one ship. And so that is the Haven. So the Haven is, it's suites. It's for, you have your butler service, you have 24-hour concierge service, you have your own pool area, especially on the newer ships. I love how the pool has the retractable roof. So let's say you're sailing up to Alaska on the Encore and it's not the greatest weather, they'll actually put the roof up and you can still enjoy the pool and the hot tub. And then of course, if it's sunny, they open up the roof. You also get a separate area in the theater room. So as you know, Lisa, you've seen some of our Broadway shows like the Jersey Boys, those fill up really quickly. So the benefits of being in the Haven, you actually get a separate private little section in the theater where you actually don't have to make reservation. The other thing I really like about the Haven, we actually see a lot of family groups and honeymooners that are, you know, traveling with the family, but they want to have their own little time. So they'll actually book the Haven. And then when they want to hang out with the family or go out for dinner and do specialty dining, they go and meet the family. So the Haven is, you know, you can only go in that area if you're staying in the Haven. So, and having a butler and a concierge, who wouldn't want that, Lisa? I would.
Absolutely, absolutely. Question about the Pride of America. Do they have any single studio rooms?
They do, and they only actually have 5. So they sell out very fast. So if you're wanting a solo studio, I'd be looking at 23, 24 itineraries.
Okay, wonderful. You know, thank you, Fatima. You've opened up our eyes. I mean, we've got to Alaska and the beautiful scenery there, and definitely Hawaii, which I think we all want to get somewhere warm, and the sand and the smell of the ocean is just phenomenal. So thank you for giving us this presentation tonight. I just want to let everybody know travel is starting. It is definitely time to start thinking about where you want to go. As we said, with flexible policies, there's no risk in booking and dreaming early. We've all lost 2 years of our vacation and a vacation plan. So with high demand, we're already seeing some shortage in space. When you start thinking of traveling, think of who you want to go with. I think one of the biggest things now is that we've been alone with our spouse and our families for so long. Let's invite some friends, some other relatives, multi-generational if we can, and really, really plan something wonderful to make up for all the time we've missed. Please reach out to your consultants if you have any questions. Let us help you start planning your next vacation. Remember to follow us on Facebook. Also check out our YouTube channels. The video presentations tonight, as well as all the other travel talks we've been doing for the last year and a half, will be recorded there. Next week, we're going to have a Playa Resorts featuring Mexico, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic, if your thoughts are more towards land. And on December 9th, Atlas Voyages is a brand new cruise line that I think will interest many of you. So thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your past cruises, and we look forward to planning your next cruise vacations. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and stay warm and safe this weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.